You know that feeling, right? Staring at a completely blank page. It can be one of the most intimidating things in the world. But what if I told you there's a blueprint, a clear, step-by-step roadmap to turn that empty space into a presentation that doesn't just get the job done, but actually earns you a real round of applause? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build today. We've all been there. That final presentation is on the calendar, it's getting closer, and just figuring out where to start feels like you're staring up at this impossibly huge mountain. But the secret to a great presentation, it isn't some massive leap. It's actually just about making one smart decision right at the very beginning.
And that first decision, it's all about your topic. Now, this isn't just about picking something you know a little about. It's about finding the absolute perfect foundation to build everything else on. Seriously, you get this part right, and the rest just kind of clicks into place.
So how do you find that perfect topic? Well, let's run it through a quick checklist. First up, is it interesting? And not just to you, but to your audience too. Next, does it have some depth? Is there enough meat on the bone to really dig in and explore something cool? Then, and this is a big one, have you thought about who you're talking to? What do they already know? And finally, the secret ingredient, can you turn it into a story? Because let's be honest, facts fade, but a good story, that sticks with people.
Okay, so you've landed on a brilliant topic. Awesome. But here's the thing. A great topic without a solid structure is just a jumble of interesting facts. So now we get to put on our architect hats and draw up the blueprint for your audience's journey.
And you know what's great? This simple three-part blueprint is the secret sauce behind pretty much every great talk you've ever heard. You start with the hook, maybe a shocking statistic or a personal story, something to grab their attention right away. Then you build your case in the core with clear logic, good evidence, and real examples. And finally, you stick the landing by wrapping up your key points and leaving them with something powerful to think about. Hook, core, landing. It's a simple formula that just plain works.
And hey, while you're building out that core, a quick word on your visual aids, like your slides. Think of them as your backup singers, okay? They are not the lead vocalist. Their only job is to make you sound better and enhance what you're saying. If your audience is busy reading a super cluttered slide instead of listening to you, well, it's actually working against you. So keep it simple and make sure it serves your story. So your structure is locked in. You might be tempted to call it a day, but listen, the real magic, the thing that separates a good presentation from a truly great one, happens in rehearsal. And this isn't about memorizing your lines word for word. It's about internalizing your message so you can deliver it with genuine, unshakable confidence.
Let's walk through this practice roadmap, shall we? The first few runs, those are just for you. It's about finding your rhythm, smoothing out the clunky parts. Then comes the game changer, rehearsing in front of somebody else, like your peers. This is where you'll spot the confusing gaps you never would have seen on your own. Use their feedback to get ready for tough questions. And finally, you gotta put yourself on the clock. Nailing your timing shows respect for your audience and, let's be real, it makes you look like a total pro. That step of practicing in front of someone, it's so vital that we need to dive a little deeper here. I know, getting feedback can feel intimidating, but I'm telling you, it is the single fastest way to elevate your work. So let's stop thinking of it as criticism and start seeing it as a powerful tool to make your presentation absolutely shine.
But how do you get feedback that's actually, useful? You need a framework, and it all comes down to one simple number: 5. 5 pillars that are going to transform any feedback session from something vague into something incredibly valuable.
And here's what that framework looks like. When you ask for feedback, don't just say, "So, what did you think?" Guide them with these 5 pillars. Ask them, was the content clear and easy to follow? Was I engaging? Did I connect with you? Did the visuals actually help? How was my delivery, my pacing, my tone? And how'd I do with questions? This structure is the key to turning a useless comment like, yeah, it was good, into specific, actionable advice you can actually use. All right, we've picked the topic, we've built the structure, we've practiced the delivery, and we've fine-tuned it with feedback. Now it's time for the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, your mindset. This isn't just another test. It's so much more than that. I want you to think of this moment as a celebration. Truly. It's the culmination of all the work you've put in. The research, the thinking, the structuring, the rehearsing. You aren't just presenting on a topic, you're demonstrating how much you've grown and showcasing all the new skills you've mastered along the way. So the big takeaway here is this. When you step up there to present, remember that it's more than just sharing information. It's a performance, celebrating just how far you've come. It's about taking pride in your skills and sharing something you genuinely care about.
So the only question left is, what story are you going to tell?